So now we have Olympiacos against Monaco, the first seed against the 8th seed. Olympiacos had their usual dominant regular season, and this year they look forward to finally winning the championship and most importantly breaking the first seed curse. They are very efficient both in offense and defense. They're the best offense and the third best defense in Euroleague, and they're the team with the highest assist percentage. And if you want to know how I made a breakdown video about this offensive system, I'll leave it in the info cards up here. And they're also in the top 4 for both offensive and defensive rebound percentages. And this last statistic obviously benefits from Nikola Milutinov's presence on the court. And this is particularly important if you consider that Monaco is among the worst rebounding teams in Euroleague. So the Milutinov-Theis mismatch is obviously going to be exploited by Bartzokas' team. And on one end, you can exploit the Nikola Milutinov's physicality over Daniel Theis, but on the other end, Daniel Theis would probably be a tough challenge for Milutinov, especially in pick and pop situations, because of how Daniel Theis can spread the floor and shoot the three. But this is not the only matchup that is going to be tough for one side or the other. I think that Markoishvili is going to start with Elio Kubo at the 2 spot. So this way, Tyler Dorsey could be challenged defensively. And the other one, and probably the most interesting matchup of this whole series, is going to be Mike James against Thomas Walkup. I see Walkup obviously fighting through every screen to keep Mike James as his defensive assignment. But in this aspect, I think that one of the actions that can force the opponent to switch the most is probably playing a back screen, played with 3 other players spacing outside of the perimeter. Maybe 2 of them can play a decoy action, but with 2 players playing the core action. But I see Mike James acting as the back screener for Daniel Theis. So this way, Theis could cut to the basket. And if you don't want to concede an easy lob to Daniel Theis, you have to switch with Walkup on him. And Mike James, as soon as he set the screen for Theis, rushing out to the 3-point line to receive the ball. And this way, you probably can force a switch and, start the play with an easy yet very effective, in my opinion, action. But, these obviously are not the only important factor of the series. One of them is probably going to be the bench's role. If you look at Monaco's option in the roster, they only have 10 players available. I'm not counting Nikola Mirotic because he's out indefinitely. And I personally don't know if he's going to play in this series. His timetable for his return is not clear, but the signals that the team is giving is not very encouraging for his return. And without Mirotic, Blossomgame is the only power forward that Monaco has in his team. Theis and Georgios Hayes are the only 2 centers that this team has. So foul troubles can be very crucial in this series. Just like foul troubles were crucial in the first playing game that Monaco played against Panathinaikos. There were a lot of situations where Monaco players didn't foul and conceded easy baskets because they didn't want to get into foul troubles. While on the other end, Panathinaikos has a very deep team and a very deep bench. They can count on players off the bench like Peters, like Ward, like Ntilikina, also Tyreek Jones if he's available to play in the series. So many different players with many different characteristics that could be useful depending on what each game requires from this Olympiacos team. And getting to the tactical part, when Olympiacos usually faces a switching, versatile and very physical defense, they are not as effective as usual, offensively speaking. So against this Monaco team, they might struggle in some parts of the game. mismatches will be created. So this is the part where Bartzokas' team can, focus on to find their offensive rhythm. In particular, they'll probably need to force Blossom game out of Vezenkov's way and punish these mismatches with the MVP candidate, especially in low post situations. So overall, I'm confident that Olympiacos will get to the Final Four. My prediction is Olympiacos winning in 4 games. But this is probably the toughest matchup that the Greek team could have found in the first round, especially as a first seed. And let's not forget that Monaco eliminated Olympiacos in last season's Final Four. But the reason why I think that Bartzokas' team will win this series is because this year they seem more ready and more complete roster-wise, and overall more ready to fight against this type of team.
Yes, I do agree with you. In my opinion, Monaco is a team that enjoys to have many score runs through the games, while Olympiacos is a more constant team. So at least one game will be taken by Monaco if they play with flows and everything. But I think in the end, Olympiacos will easily win, also because of the limited rotations by the Markoishvili team.